and everything's going on. And then to have a family, I can imagine him being very upbeat and being able to move around the house all the time.
Yeah, he did. He did. Absolutely. So, going back to the grief, it would be so easy for me. And believe me, I have moments and, days where I feel like, why me, my baby, my mom, my husband. But, I really try to stay focused on being grateful for the 8 years that I had married to Ken. Because after Bo died, I was so sad. And, my daughter Melania had said to me, you know what, Mommy, like Ken came into our life and healed us from Bo passing. Like he made you laugh again. And even my ex-husband and he became really good friends, and my kids, and, he helped heal us. And I'm forever grateful for that. It's something that I wish I had 80 years.
Hearing your story in a sweet sense of, you saying you had what your daughter said and you having those wonderful 8 years.
Yeah. So that's why, I try to honor him. And my daughter, Melania, she just graduated from Central St. Martin's University in London. She's a fashion designer. Stella McCartney went there, Galliano. It's a very prestigious school. And her way of honoring Ken was she did her final, her fashion show, like her final fashion show was, about Ken. She used he was her inspiration. So she went out. Wimbledon was amazing. They allowed her to go into the archives for her thesis. And then her designs were, inspired by the Olympics and the Davis Cup and Wimbledon. So that was her way of honoring Ken. And it'll be out on the Central St. Martin's University website mid-June. And so the fashion houses will be able to see it. And, so I think everyone, that's how she's honoring, her daddy, which is really, really lovely. And I really, that makes me so happy. And I know Ken would be so proud.
Yeah, she's using her form.
Yeah, I said to his doubles partner, Rob Seguso, who's inherited me, I said, who would have ever thought that you two jokers are in couture now? You guys are inspiring fashion, right? So we laughed about that. So it's, I think everyone finds their way of how they want to honor,
Yes. Yes. Everyone has their own love language, and everyone has their own honoring language.
Oh, I like that. That's true. Everyone does have their own love language and their honoring language. I like that. That's really good. Yeah. It is different. And no one's grief is worse than someone else's. Like you can't say, oh no, mine's way worse than yours. That's not true. Everyone's is different. And, I do feel though with grief, you can, like I said earlier, you don't get over, the loss of your loved one. You learn to manage it. But if you don't learn to manage it, it just keeps growing and growing and getting worse and worse. So I do urge people to figure out a way that they're comfortable to honor their loved one and to learn to manage it and just be grateful for the time that you had and not for the time that you didn't, because it is part of life's, cycle, passing away. And I feel that, one day I'll go up. Death doesn't scare me like it used to. I used to be like, oh God, I don't want to die. But now I'm like, well, I get to be with my husband and my baby and my mom and my friends. And, so if we think of it that way, it's not such a horrible thing. I mean, I don't want to pass anytime soon because I have my children. I want to see them experience life and, them become, what they're going to create in their business life and their personal life. I want to see all those moments because they're precious and they're beautiful. And I don't want to miss the thing, I want to see everything.
Right. You want to see it all from here. Is your daughter, I love London. Is she going to stay in London and continue that fashion career out there?
She is. She's going to stay in Europe. So part of what's so great about Central St. Martin's is all the fashion houses come in, watch, see the final fashion show. Unfortunately, with, the coronavirus, we were not in London for her final fashion show. Her cousins were going to come in, and I was going to go do the makeup, and it was going to. But so they're doing it through videos, so and images. So she's still able to have her moment of in the sun where she's showing off her beautiful designs. And I know she's going to. I'm almost certain she's going to be living in Paris or Milan or London and working for an incredible design firm.
Oh, that's so cool. I love London. It's amazing.
London fabulous. I love London.
It is. And I love the London, or not even just London, like the European humor and the sarcasm that comes with it. I enjoy it so much.
It's great. She loves it there. And, she's been there for 4 years. So, and it also changes you when you live in another country. It changes you. I mean, even as an American, you're not quite the same anymore when you come back. It totally changes you. Have you ever lived anywhere else?
I lived in London. Before I graduated, I took an extra semester and I went out to London. I went to Regent's University right by like the Queen's Garden. And it was amazing because it was an extra semester. It was all my like extra credits that didn't really count for a grade.
Right.
I still did well in them, but I didn't have to focus on school. And so I would just get on the tube and get off and have the entire day to, probably not the safest thing, but to just randomly get lost.
Right.
A whole different country.
Right. No, that's special. And it did, I'm sure you felt like a different person when you came back.
Yes, I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of journaling and I like writing things down. And when I was out there, I journaled and I danced. So putting those two forms, and for me, dance turned into my own meditation form. And I remember coming back here to the States and just having almost like a clearer mind and a different outlook on things. And when I went back and looked at everything that I had written down through my time, it was like, oh, all right, I grew up somewhere along these few months. Right. So it was very experiencing. I had a lot, and it was a lot of me time. It was the first time in my life that I was alone. And when I say alone, as in I have 4 of the siblings. We always lived together. I lived with my parents. When I was in school in New York, my parents were only an hour away. I talked to my sisters all the time.
Right.
So being in a full, entirely other country, like a day before, this entire time alone by myself, no one was an easy hour, like run away to. And like I said, it definitely made me grow up. I got a little bit more independent as an individual.
Good. I mean, it's important to have that, to be able to have that time, to learn to self-soothe, to like,
yes,
not always have, it's so, what a blessing that you have such a beautiful big family that love you and, adore you and you have that, but it's also nice to have that time. I've kind of had that, being a widow, I didn't expect, I've had, 5 kids and, 4 stepkids and, my husband and I'm an empty nester. I have like Ben now, like half the time. And it's so weird to be alone. Like I have my dogs and to live alone. Like, it's like my first time that I'm really alone. And it's interesting. Like, it took a little getting used to, I have to say, it sometimes, but now I'm enjoying it. I can, my house is always perfect. That's kind of nice.
No one's taking your food out of the refrigerator.
I make a big bowl of salad and that's that, it's kind of nice, but this is the first time that I've really been alone as well. And so it's interesting. I guess, it's kind of one of those things you're going to have to deal with it at some time. So yes, this is my time of learning to deal with being alone and enjoy it and appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Enjoying it was a big one. And now I find myself, I've been in Colorado now for 2 years alone. I have roommates, but, alone. And it is a whole new world when you now have to make your own dinners. When I was in London, I had the campus food. So I would that menu was set. But grocery shopping and making your own dinners, and that added to the whole, hey, I'm by myself. My dad's not cooking dinner for me.
I know it's interesting. Life's interesting, you know. It's one of those things, like, you know, you have to kind of enjoy just every moment and the different changes. I read a really great book. I went to grief camp after Ken passed away. My friend lied to me. She said we're going to Canyon Ranch, like the spa, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I thought we were going to get massages and lay in the sun. And we ended up going to grief camp, which I didn't expect, but was much needed. And I think it really has helped me kind of maneuver this new time in my life. But the woman that was speaking was Rabbi Sherry Hirsch from Los Angeles. She had written a book called We Plan and God Laughs. And it's a really great book because it tells you, you know, in my mind, I married the love of my life. I was totally happy. I, you know, had this great job. I have a company. I'm a makeup artist. I have these kids that are great. Like, everything's great. And then it wasn't. It was like the world went upside down. And you kind of, that's part of life. You have to learn to maneuver. You need to learn to be happy and maneuver and kind of ride the different waves of the ups and downs of life. And you know, happiness is a choice. You know, you can choose to be bitter and angry and pissed off, or you can just say, okay, like right now, I can't be a makeup artist. I haven't been able to be a makeup. I finished this TV show in March with Isaiah Washington for Fox called Kitchen Talk. It's coming out this month on Fox. And, you know, I've worked really hard to become a successful makeup artist, to do TV and film and all these photo shoots for fashion. And to me, like, I feel like the government has decided that my job isn't essential, even though I need to feed people. I guess it's not essential, but so anyway, I feel like I've been given another huge basket of very sour lemons, and I needed to make some kick-ass lemonade. And how I'm going to, I have a choice right now, again, to be happy during this time and be productive and do, like, what am I going to do during this shut-in that I can't normally do? So I revamped my website. I got a new, my business partner, Jordan Black, came in, and like, we redid our website and we changed our social media. Like, we just did all that new. We redid my portfolio, ChristinaFlach.com. And, you know, I've taken time to kind of rest a little bit, and because I've been running around. And probably some of my running around was running away. And so, you know, being home has made me like, well, anytime I felt sad or whatever, I'd be like, I'll just jump on a plane, or my agent will call and have me fly off somewhere. But I've really had to, like, deal with some stuff being shut in, and it's a choice to be happy. And I don't know, I don't like being unhappy. It feels foreign to me. So being able, you know, I really want to deal with these issues and be happy. And sometimes you have to kind of sit in some unhappiness to get through, you know?
Yes, you got to sit into some
muck
and gunk and get through it.
Yeah.
Because what you said is correct. A lot of people, I will say I am guilty of it as well. Whenever that moment of either unhappiness comes around, or you're just sitting and you're like, ooh, there's so many thoughts going in my head and not so positive. Let me go and do this. Let me go and do this new project. Or now I'm going to fly here. Or I'm going to do that. Where this time, you're right. Focus makes you focus, and you're forced to just kind of work it out.
Absolutely. And I also feel like I know when times like this are, I try to be extra disciplined. I'm still going to bed at the same time. I wake up early. I'm eating my same breakfast. I'm exercising. I'm reading. I'm meditating. I'm praying. I'm doing all those things because, especially right now, this is not the time to just sit around and eat ice cream and watch Netflix. Okay. Like, you know, it's like, you can only do that for so long. You don't want to, like, gain 20 pounds or just, and it's not even the gaining of the 20 pounds, even though it kind of is, you know, it's just, it's not going to make you happy. Those things are going to, so, you know, it's felt good to be able to have this time to kind of figure things out in my life and with my business. And, you know, I came out with a hand sanitizer.
Oh, did you really now?
I did. Oh. And so my big complaint about that is that Facebook and Amazon and Instagram have decided that, I guess because it's a vital they won't let you promote it. And I just think it's appalling that I can't, on Instagram, Facebook, you can run ads. They won't allow it because